Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here and welcome back to another crypto video. And in this video, I'm going to show you guys exactly how I would build a crypto portfolio. I'm going to go over my top cryptos for the next year. And I personally think, even though it's not financial advice, that anybody holding these cryptos is going to get extremely far in the crypto space. Having said that, let's talk about it. So first of all, let me quickly say that Bitcoin right now is doing pretty well. We're at $23,000 and that means, well, over the last week, we've been doing extremely good. There's also been a lot of FOMO of people rushing into the crypto space right now as we speak. And that means there's also a lot of people thinking about, which altcoins should I buy and why? How can I balance it out so that regardless of what happens, I'm in a good position? And I basically have one very important takeaway that everybody needs to know. I'm personally very much against holding only 1, 2, 3, or 4 or 5 crypto because there's many different segments. There's the DeFi segment. There's the platformer segment. There's the exchange segment. There's the payment segment and file storage segment, just to name a few. There's also the Oracle segment. You can kind of subdivide cryptocurrencies in different divisions, and by only holding 1, 2, or 3, you're basically missing a lot of different parts of the crypto space. And I'd kind of like to compare that to the early internet, where at the start of it, you really didn't know what type of websites were gonna pop off and what type of web companies were gonna make you the most amount of money. Was it the nice little browsing website? Was it the media platform? Was it the file sharing platform? At that point, nobody really knew what was gonna get you furthest in the next couple of years, and in hindsight, most individual sectors would have gotten you pretty far. But then question number 2 becomes, let's say you focus on one sector, which ones of that sector do you buy? And that's why I'm thinking, let's say we pick 5 different sectors in the crypto space, and then also pick within every one of those niches 2 cryptos, for example. Yeah, I think that's pretty solid. Anyway, I'm just going to be sharing with you guys a couple of different cryptos that I really think are good for longevity. And I'm not going to be posting a full list of every single crypto I own on here, but I might share that over in my YouTube member section or over on Patreon. I think I'm going to share it on both. Anyways, having said that, my number 1 coin, fun fact, is Bitcoin. I know I kind of wanted to make it my top altcoin list, but I just have to quickly include Bitcoin into it. And the idea is pretty simple. Even though Bitcoin is not going to make you the majority of the gains, and nobody's sure if it's going to stay around forever, right now it's the best in terms of that it's number 1, and it's also gaining a lot. You can see over the last week, it's literally the best performer out of the top 10. But more importantly, it's quote unquote safest. So for anybody with a higher net worth, I'd personally suggest more towards looking towards safer options rather than riskier options. And Bitcoin just has that nice little middle ground where you're invested in cryptocurrencies, highly volatile space, extremely risky, albeit that I personally have most of my money in there. But then with Bitcoin, you're kind of balancing out that risk again, as it has a limited market cap. It has a limited supply of 21 million, and it's the biggest right now. It just has the highest probability of continuing to go upwards, albeit not necessarily as quick as some altcoins, but in my opinion, it's the safest one to kind of balance out a, risky portfolio, I'd say. Let me just quickly give you guys a little rundown of which altcoins I'm excited about, and then we'll go deeper in a second. So if we're talking about my portfolio, I'm pretty excited about Ethereum, BNB, XRP, Cardano, Polygon, Chainlink as well, HBAR, Filecoin, Quant, Algorand, VeChain. I think that's a pretty solid list just to start, but then there's a couple other ones like EGLD, IOTA, and XDC, which is, I don't believe, in the top 100. We'll see how far we get in this video though. So first of all, why Ethereum and why BNB? So Ethereum is good because it's the main platformer right now as we speak. It's not as risky as the majority of other platformers that are lower on the list because the majority of things in crypto are built on top of Ethereum's network. A lot of other coins are built on Ethereum, tokens, I should say. And the NFT space is also very prominent on there. In bull markets, Ethereum just does extremely well because of all the activity that's built on top of the platform. And I'd say that BNB is pretty akin to Ethereum because it's the second biggest platform in that sense. A lot of things are built on there. A lot of tokens are based on BNB. The only risk with BNB is that it's very much, in my own opinion, reliant on Binance and Binance staying around and Binance doing good. This has a multiplier, partially a negative and partially a positive one. The positive side is, well, as long as Binance is supporting it, we have crazy BNB burns, which is positive. And we know nothing too crazy is going to happen because, well, Binance is in the loop. The negative side is if something happens to Binance, BNB is not in a very good position. Anyway, another one that I really like a lot is XRP. If you're holding this coin, be prepared for people to laugh at you because they're in a lawsuit right now with the SEC in the US. And so for people in the US to buy this, it's a little bit more difficult. Side note, I always have a couple links down below to, for example, NordVPN, Ledger, and a couple of exchanges that I personally use. If you also want to trade crypto, make sure you check out Bybit, as usually they have the best bonuses. Just check it out. I'll leave a link down below for that. Or potentially BitGet, also a pretty nice exchange. If you didn't have a nice experience on those for some reason, there's also 2 other exchanges right there that I personally use. And I update this list constantly to just include things that I personally am using right now. I think for people in the US, one of the only ones you can use nicely, I think, is BitTrue. Anyway, for XRP, it's a little bit more difficult than the US. They're in a very important lawsuit with the SEC. As it stands, the majority of the community and most people I've spoken to think Ripple will win, however, which means that XRP will most likely do extremely well once that ends, and it could end within a couple of months. I see the probability of winning very high, but take caution as, well, there is obviously a probability of losing. And even though I think if they do lose, it's going to take the entire crypto market down with it, XRP is a lot broader than just this lawsuit. The central idea is mostly just to become a global bridge currency. So let's say you have some sort of Philippine pesos, and on the opposite end, you have your Mexican pesos or whatever. That transfer between those two currencies can be rather cumbersome. Might take a long time, might be very expensive in terms of transfer fee. With XRP in the middle of those transfers, things could just be sped up a lot, be made a lot more efficient, and a lot cheaper. Yeah, the ideas are pretty wild on this one, pretty big, very big vision, huge vision even. And I think if we let it cook, XRP is going to outperform a lot of the other competition. Anyway, for the realm, they're already on the top of the top. No crypto as of this point does it better. Cardano, I don't cover as much right now as I used to. It's a good platformer. They have a peer-reviewed approach, meaning they are not really the most innovative. They don't come up with the craziest of new ideas. They just take ideas, research the living out of them, and then make sure it's done right. Also mostly in a platformer sense, but they're branching out a lot, doing a lot of different things, but mostly still consider it to be a platformer along the lines of Ethereum and BNB. Polygon, finally, a completely different crypto. Albeit that it's still regarded as a platformer, it's mostly there to make Ethereum better and make other, now that they changed from Matic to Polygon, things more scalable. It's just scalability, basically. Nowadays, a lot of games are built on Polygon, and I believe Reddit, Starbucks, and there's actually many other big brands that are working with Polygon specifically, because a lot of those guys want to work with Ethereum, but don't really like all the crazy underlying fees, and hence they use Polygon. So whenever Ethereum goes for an upgrade, Polygon goes for an upgrade, and so forth and so on. But yeah, like it says in the story right here, Polygon effectively transforms Ethereum into a full-fledged multi-chain ecosystem. And it's akin to others in that niche like Polkadot, Cosmos, Avalanche, etc., which are all cryptos that I indeed hold. But honestly, the reason that I did not include Polkadot, Cosmos, or Avalanche in my list, even though I'm bullish on them, is because if we had to pick a really broad portfolio and say, okay, I want to really get some cryptos in every sector, we'd have to include them. But right now, I'd say that Polygon is just my most exciting and most bullish crypto in this niche. Since I can't make a list of like 100 cryptos, I'm choosing Polygon over all these other ones. But yeah, for anybody looking for the keyword, Polygon is what's called a layer 2. It's basically something that's on top of Ethereum, Ethereum being a layer 1, and it's basically just for scalability. Anyway, moving on, another one that I'm extremely excited about is Chainlink. We've talked about it many times on the channel. Chainlink is one, in my own opinion, extremely undervalued project. They're doing more fundamental building than almost any other project out there. And through their decentralized Oracle network, what they basically do is take data from the real world and input it onto the blockchain. Let's say there's a sports match, right? And we want to have some sort of crypto ecosystem that can get the input, or I'd say I have to say output from that soccer or sports match, and then decide some sort of crypto action based upon the outcome of that match. Chainlink basically provides that. So they take the real world data and input it into the crypto space. And they're busy with developing new sort of smart contracts and whatnot, doing a lot that many people just don't know about. But yeah, by far, if I had to pick a small list of cryptocurrencies, Chainlink would have to be in there. Amazing from the fundamental layer, just amazing, amazing, amazing. All right, now we're getting to a couple of interesting ones, but let's just quickly cover Quant. Quant is basically here to combat the interoperability issues. So they have their operating system called Overledger, and that was designed to act as a gateway for any blockchain-based project to access all other blockchains. It also works in connecting an application to other applications in the same blockchain ecosystem. It creates different layers for apps to interact at different levels, and utilizing Overledger, developers write smart contracts across a wide variety of chains, including those that don't even support them, such as, for example, Bitcoin. And so yeah, it allows developers to build decentralized multi-chain applications, and it's basically a gap bridger or a gap closer. There's just some technology in the crypto space like Quantier that needs to be utilized to fill all the gaps that there are in this, still very much lacking crypto ecosystem that we have. It's in a fun way, sort of like an operating system for blockchains. So from that perspective, pretty unique in the way in which they're solving this interoperability problem, and pretty amazing in my opinion. There's multiple in this list here, guys, but again, I don't want to make this video too long. I'm just quickly sharing some information about some of my top coins and why. 2 coins in this little list, Hedera and VeChain, I mostly love for the partnerships which they've already gotten. For example, VeChain is more of a supply chain type of crypto. Amazing partnerships. Just type in VeChain partnerships into the interwebs and you'll find a crazy list. You can hear for yourself. See it for a little second. DNVGL, PricewaterhouseCoopers, the NRCC, but even companies like Walmart, China, and it's just absolutely crazy. They mostly utilize VeChain to help with their supply chain issues. And Hedera is also more of a platformer. They have their own consensus mechanism. You can read here a little bit more about it. The Hedera hash graph system was specifically created for this, and it's based upon proof of stake, but slightly different. The idea here is that many say from a technical point of view, Hedera is built better than the majority of platformers out there already. And because of the partnerships which they've already gotten, people say that Hedera in time will overtake a lot of the competition. And yeah, today it's going absolutely haywire. We checked it out. There's no specific reason as to why it's doing that. Maybe it's time catching up with the progress that's been built in the background. It could very well be so. And then Algorand, again, being a platformer, more institutionally focused, institutionally backed, and Filecoin, completely different sector. I don't really buy a Filecoin every single day, but I hold it. And that's because it's doing something completely different than most of the cryptos that we just covered. Again, this is not your bull market pumper. It's just one crypto I have in my back pocket for in case crypto actually does end up going mainstream. And it's basically to create file storage in a cloud manner like Dropbox or iCloud. And you can basically earn money by providing space. Yeah, it's a really interesting concept. Again, completely different from any other coin which we've just covered. And it's not a hype coin like many of the other ones, but pretty solid fundamental wise, and thus for longevity, I think this is a solid one. If we're talking about big bull run, by the way, a lot of coins like Mana, which is and Sandbox, by the way, which are metaverse cryptos, they might actually pop off and outperform a lot of the competition because those are based a lot more around hype and a lot more around just sheer number of users. This is kind of like a low barrier of entry, very easy to understand. Metaverse and game type of cryptos in bull runs in exciting markets tend to do better. And the same thing goes for any INU, any meme type of token. In terms of a balanced portfolio, it's surely nice to have some of those for the big bull market. In a bear market, however, which we've also seen, these things just don't really last that well because they're based upon excitement. And what I recommend for anybody to do real quick is just to take, I don't know, an hour or two, just kind of scroll through these different cryptos, look at the ones that are not stable coins, like for example, Theta, even though it kind of looks like a stable coin. Click on it, read through it for a second, because this one, for example, has such a different use case than all the others. It's not one of my bigger holdings, but just for fun, do it. And kind of read through what they do. You'll realize just how many different cryptos and how many different use cases are out there, and then see which ones you like. Maybe then watch a little video about the project if it's something you're interested in, and then see whether or not you should add it to your portfolio. Because like I said earlier, there are many different cryptos that I'm holding right now that I'm very excited about. Another couple ones are EGLD or eGold or Multiverse and IOTA, for example, both amazing. But if I had to cover every single crypto that I own here, we'd be here for a very long time. And so I just recommend taking a look at some of the cryptos that I've mentioned, see for yourself if it's something that you also would like to add to your portfolio. And most importantly, this is not financial advice, but as a personal suggestion from me to you as a friend, not your financial advisor. Do your own research, do your own due diligence, never invest money you're not able to lose. If you're not into crypto yet, I'd say just try to buy $1's worth. Through safe methods, of course, but try to buy at least $1 worth of crypto, because by doing so, you get acquainted with the process, you understand a lot more about how it works, and the moment you've done that, you can decide whether or not the investment route is really something for you. But I believe most people that are out here right now aren't able to lose $1, and so just see how the process is working. Potentially, just buy $10 worth of various cryptos just to get kind of acquainted with the different sort of cryptos that there are and how you can go about purchasing different things. And again, just go from there. For a lot of my family, I've set it up that way as well. I give you, let's say $100, $500. We just buy a little bit of a couple of different cryptos, show you the process, and then decide for yourself if this is something you want to put a lot of money into or not. But the most important step for most people watching is to actually take step number 1 and put a little bit of money into it, which is why I'm sharing a little list of different cryptos that I think you should look at and different cryptos that I own and that I'm excited about, and I definitely am going to hold forever. Because I don't see this as a short-term game. I don't see this as a get-rich-quick type of scheme. By the time I leave this world, I honestly think I'm still going to have the majority of crypto that I currently have, as I just want to own it. Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of generational wealth that this is going to build. There'll only, for example, be 21 million Bitcoin ever, and so forth and so on. We can go and talk about the tokenomics for a long while. We can talk about why I don't like to sell crypto too much, but just for yourself, like I said just now, take a good look at the ones I've mentioned just now. If you guys want a more detailed little top 5, let me know down below. And that was it for my little top 10-ish type of crypto portfolio builder. Again, to summarize yet again, I'd always say get different sectors. So a couple of platformers, a couple of exchange-related tokens might not be the wisest now that FTX went down. A couple of payment-related tokens, XRP, XDC, maybe some alternative fundamental builders like Quant, Filecoin, Theta, some DeFi type of cryptos, and so forth and so on. If you don't know what these are all about, there's 2 things you could do. One is just research, take some time into it. Another one is to kind of look through the different categories on here as well. A lot riskier are the meme coins and other cryptos that are below like number 200, but those will also most likely bring you a lot more gains when the bull market is indeed back. So that's a balanced decision you have to make for yourself. But yeah, if you guys would like my top bull run picks, let me know down below as well, because I have a couple of coins that I'm going pretty crazy on right now that I am buying in case the bull run is back to make crazy amounts of money, but we'll see. Let me know down below, and I'll see you guys again in another crypto video later today.